Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Happy Tuesday morning to you. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this is what I call my morning musings. Those of you who watch regularly will notice a little bit different situation, a little tighter shot, which is necessary. I'm trying to get ready to do some other filming. For a really exciting project that's coming up, by the way. I won't say much more about that. But anyway, we're talking about the nature of the kingdom. I have suggested to you that the book of Acts is about the restoration of Israel. And by the way, this is not a new idea. Other scholars have seen this and written about it. And they have demonstrated that what Luke is doing is showing us how the New Testament writers, how Luke, in his record of Pentecost and onward, was not just writing about the church, which of course he was doing, but his focus was on the restoration of the Old Covenant. Why else would Luke say over and over and over and over again? Why would he quote so many Old Testament prophecies of the establishment of the kingdom, the Messianic temple, the restoration of the land? Why would he quote all of those and put them on the lips of Peter, on Philip, and Paul throughout the book of Acts? If those Old Testament prophecies of the restoration of Israel that those speakers and Luke are citing was totally irrelevant to their mission. And look, we get great insight into this in Acts chapter 8. Now remember, the gospel began at Jerusalem. You remember what Jesus said in Acts chapter 1. The gospel would be preached in Jerusalem, in Judea, in Samaria, and to the uttermost parts of the world. Why did Jesus say things like that? Well, it's because Samaria in the Old Testament was the focal point, the locus, if you please, of the apostasy from Yahweh. Samaria was the very expression of the diaspora. Samaria said, divided kingdom. Well, so in Acts chapter 8, guess what? After the leaders of the church in Jerusalem had been preaching the fulfillment of God's Old Covenant promises made to Israel, in fulfillment of His promises to raise up one to sit on the throne of David, in fulfillment of the promises to restore the Messianic temple, to build the Messianic temple, what does Philip do? He goes down to Samaria and he preaches the kingdom. And he doesn't say, well, you know, folks, our kingdom hopes have been dashed. Or he doesn't say the kingdom hopes of Israel have been postponed. No, he preaches the kingdom. He preaches the gospel, and the Samaritans believe it and accept it. And Acts 8 says many were baptized. Well, what does that indicate? They were being baptized into Christ Messiah. They were acknowledging Him as king over the restored Israel. They have come to understand that Philip's message of the kingdom was telling them that this kingdom of Messiah on the throne of David, ruling from Zion, and the Messianic temple had nothing to do with the restoration of literal Zion, had nothing to do with being brought back to the literal land of Israel, had nothing to do with the physical temple. There is not a syllable in Acts chapter 8 about the postponement of the kingdom, and furthermore, there is not a syllable in Acts chapter 8 in which Philip said, or when Peter and the apostles, when they went down there and they preached, not one word, not one syllable about, you know, folks, look, the kingdom of God is being established on a spiritual level now, but I want you to know that one of these days, there's going to be a physical resurrection, and Jesus is going to rule on earth in physical Jerusalem from physical Israel. Not one word. And that means the kingdom of God does not come with observation. Let me suggest again that you get a copy of my 52 lesson series on Acts and the restoration of Israel. You see, the story of Philip going to Samaria tells us the kingdom was being established. Israel was being restored. But it had nothing to do with the physical kingdom. Again, go to my website, eschatology.org or BibleProphecy.com. Order Acts and the Restoration of Israel. Make mention of the fact, send me a note that you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll refund your shipping and save you $5. Thank you so much for joining me for this morning's Morning Musings. And boy, do we have more. So we'll see you on the flip side.